Og þá að þó nokkuð öðru, margir kannast við kvikmyndina Patch Adams, þar sem Robin Williams lék eftirminnilega heimsfræga trúðinn og lækninn Patch Adams, sem hefur í áratugi unnið markvisst með húmor í lækningaskyni við ýmsum veikindum og geðrænum sjúkdómum. Hann trúir því að hægt sé að komast í gegnum erfið veikindi með húmor, kærleika og vináttu í lífi sínu og er ófeiminn við að klæðast trúðsfötum við öll tilefni til að ná til fólks og fá það til að hlæja. Adams er hér á landi á vegum Hugarafls og Helga ræddi við hann í dag.
Tell me, Mr. Adams, or Patch, you've been working in this field of mental health and all kinds of sickness for decades. What motivates you to visit countries like Iceland?
Well, I came here originally for people who are concerned about the mental health of Icelandic people and working more to being mentally healthy than to be what I think we would call victims of the pharmaceutical industry that thinks that, and if things aren't right, you give a pill, and these pills are strong, they often can cause permanent damage. And so I was first brought here by people who like the idea of focusing on how to be mentally healthy.
One of the reasons people engage with your message is that you've been there yourself. Take us back to your own battle with depression, if you don't mind.
Well, it's wrong to say battle. I grew up a really happy kid. I had a fabulous mother, and when my father died from war, I grew up on military bases outside the U.S. My father died from war. We moved back to the U.S. in '61 to the South, to the southern states where our black population had no human rights. So I realized my country was fake, religion was fake, and that the adult world was an embarrassment. That the idea that we can refuse a bathroom, a drinking fountain to a person because of their color, and my mother wasn't an activist, and it was wrong, and it didn't look like it mattered to people. But how could this happen? And so my simplistic adolescent self tried to kill myself. I didn't want to live in a world of violence and injustice. I didn't yet know about revolution. Between the second and third hospitalization, I saw Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. I was 1 million nonviolent activists. And my life changed. I realized you don't kill yourself, you make revolution.
But did you decide to study medicine to help people?
Well, as soon as I stopped suffering and said, come on, Patch, you're not segregated. Go out there and make revolution. I thought, what can I do? And I knew that the absence of love is what makes hate, and so I was looking for a love job for men. Women had most of the love jobs, teacher and nurse, social worker, and I thought maybe doctors are loving. I didn't know that they actually weren't loving, but I thought maybe doctors were loving, and so I entered medicine.
But tell me, how do you use the humor in your medicine?
Well, I'm fun to die with, for example. If you only have a week to live, I'm your man. Well, ask yourself, if you only have a week to live, do you want it to be fun?
Of course.
Duh. Duh. So I'm fun to die with. And with mental illness, I realized that psychopharmaceuticals are business. They're not good for mental health. What's good for mental health are love and humor and those sorts of things. So,
but I can connect with, like, the clown and the humor connects with children. But how does it connect with adults and who suffer from deep depression?
I prefer to clown for adults. Their suffering is deeper, their sense of humor much larger. So there's a lot more creativity in clowning for adults than there is for children, as you will find out as your child grows. And people are always kind of, here comes a clown, send them to children. But, you know, if I clown in a hospital, I'm clowning for the staff, the cleaning person, the parents, whoever's there.
Don't you ever get this strange response, like, who are you?
Well, of course you want strange responses. I mean, I can show you, you know, just if you think about the toys in my pocket here, I have 30 toys with me at all times. So you can imagine when I go through airport security, you can see there, okay? And I've got toys in this pocket, and I've got, look at this thing in this pocket, okay? So I can be in an airport and...
And you pull the clown, like, wherever.
To have fun. What is the point of life? To be loving, to have fun, to engage and connect. You look around the U.S. and it looks like everybody needs psychiatric medication. We're such an alienated, depressed society. If you read the 20th century literature, you know, I'm not saying a radical idea. That's what 20th century American literature is about. Meaninglessness, alienation, and humor is just such a wonderful trick to get love close.
The first time I heard of you was when I watched the movie Patch Adams. And many people associate your story with Robin Williams, who portrayed you in that memorable film. Sadly, Robin Williams and Philip Seymour Hoffman both died tragically just recently. How did that make you feel?
Well, you know, all suicide is a shame. How is it that a person with great success, with Academy Awards, with all of that, how is that? Well, it's because those things don't make happiness. You decide to be happy. Freud said maybe mental illness is a healthy response to a messed up society. Robin's death didn't surprise me.
It didn't?
No.
Why?
Well, I could see here was an extreme introvert in a world that wanted, you know, the world of fame is a nightmare. It's, people want some piece of you. Everywhere I went with Robin, he never had a personhood. People wanted him to be something for them. And, you know, complicated relationships and, yeah, I was not surprised. Philip Seymour Hoffman, I didn't know as well. But most people in the U.S. are bored, lonely, and afraid, depressed, anxious. You know, they're, in my 48 years in medicine, my initial interview with a patient is 4 hours long. I found 3% had self-esteem, so almost no one in the U.S. loves themselves. Less than 5% had any idea what a day-to-day vitality for life was about.
We have very long winters here in Iceland, and we lack daylight for months. Can you give us a guideline or something?
You get really good at snuggling. Okay, if you have a fabulous relationship with a partner, then cold is much better than hot, because you want to snuggle. People want to be mentally healthy. Have a great exercise program of aerobics, yoga, and weightlifting. The most important thing is to have a large circle of friends. Love people. Be vulnerable. Love, love, love people. Just love generically everybody and make friends. Love life. Engage in nature. Engage in the arts. And do something that matters to yourself and to your society. Share things. We are healthiest in a group, so group up.
If you could do something spontaneous and funny right now, what would you do?
Well, as soon as you ask that question, it isn't spontaneous, is it? Well, I'll show you, okay? So if I see violence in public, what I can do really easily is I can kind of back up and pull this pants leg up like this and pull this pants leg up like this, and then I can pull these pants up like this Normally I would reach in my pocket and pull out a nose, but 5 years ago I started to use what I call the triple threat. I showed you this. And then I reach in this pocket here and get this out here. Or I put this right here. And this right here. And so if I see a parent and child fighting in a grocery store and I do this, it stops the fight. And if I just do this anywhere, people laugh. And you see, I've got lots of toys here. And you saw how quick it was to do it. It didn't take any time.
Half a minute, 30 seconds.
Yes, and so...
This is just the standard equipment.
I'm never, unless I'm naked, all these toys are with me all the time. Because, you know, be proactive for care, be proactive for loving. When, is it not wrong, especially since you're a mother, when you see in the grocery store and you see a little child crying, doesn't something happen to you?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
You're not going, it's not my child, that doesn't matter. No, unless you're damaged, you're going to react.
Thank you, Patch Adams, for being with us.
You're welcome.
Já, og